So I thought I'd do this video because I had a surprising amount over the last couple of months of ventilation issues that have come up in surveys. And I know that it's something that I've talked about before, but I think it's really important at the moment to talk about it, mainly because it's quite topical. If you look into the Awab Ishak case, the actual main defect within the property related to ventilation, partly in the sense that the extractor fan in the bathroom wasn't working, but also that there was no extractor fan in the kitchen and the windows, or the window in the kitchen opened into the communal hallway. The bathroom didn't have a window at all. So I just wanted to talk you through some of the things that I found recently. Hopefully you'll find it useful. Ventilation is really important, now more so than ever. In the past, our homes were much better at allowing fresh air in and getting rid of the stale, stagnant air. But as we're making them more airtight and reducing all the leaks and improving double glazing and insulation, we're reducing that natural ability for our homes to breathe. So we're reliant much more on mechanical ventilation. The problem is when that mechanical ventilation fails, especially when we don't realise, is when problems can happen. Despite what's in a lot of the media, mould can happen in any home, any tenure. This example here is mould that's very widespread across the ceiling of a child's bedroom, but this is actually in a privately owned home in quite a sought after area. This is a nearly £500,000 property. And it would be really easy, I think, in this circumstance to look at the layout of this particular room, which is in the area that's got the flat roof, and assume that it's because of poor insulation, possibly even roof leaks. And the insulation may well be a contributory factor, but there's lots of other stuff going on in this home, and I'm just going to talk you through what's happened there. So this bedroom is adjacent to the bathroom, and in the bathroom there's an extractor fan. Normally within a level 2 survey we'd be commenting on whether it appears to work and whether it appears to be ducted to outside air. I couldn't see anywhere that it was ducted. I think that the vent that I could see related to the boiler. I turned the fan on and it did make a noise, but something didn't quite feel right, and I could feel that there didn't seem to be a lot going on, even though it was making all the right noises. So using a digital anemometer, which is the best way to check to see if a fan's working, this is just a basic one, but it will do the job that I needed. It showed that there was actually zero flow going through that fan, so it wasn't working at all. And this is an internal bathroom that doesn't have a window at all, so the fan not working, especially if no one knows it's not working, is a massive factor in terms of the increased risk for mould across all of the house, but especially the adjacent rooms. In this example of a different property that also has some mould issues, I think it's unrelated to this particular issue that I can see here, but we've got an extractor fan, cooker hood. I can see some ducting, but what I'm going to do, which I would do anyway, but also because this home does have some issues, is go up into the loft space. You can see the mould just in the background there. And as we go up, I can actually start to hear part of the problem of what's going on here. Just get my balance a little bit. And what we can see is that this ducting's been damaged before it meets the rigid ducting, so all of that warm moist air is actually being ducted directly into the loft space where it has the potential of causing problems. But really the main problem is that it's just not extracting properly from the kitchen, so that could lead to other issues. In this really simple example, we can see that again the ducting's been torn. This is probably because there's been some re-roofing that's been done, and where either the soffit vent or the vented roof tile has been removed, it's not been replaced and it's just been left, again, discharging into the loft space, which can cause issues in itself. So this is our penultimate example. Again, got a cooker hood. This is in a brand new bathroom in a house that's being marketed as having been refurbished to the highest standards. We can see that it's ducted into the roof space. Sometimes these cooker hoods don't need to be, they can just be recirculated and they just filter some of those the fats out of the cooking. So stepping outside, I can see that there is a ridge vent up there, so there's a possible point where it could be ducted to, but we don't want to be assuming on these sort of surveys. And if you've been watching this video, you can understand why seeing a vent outside isn't necessarily proof enough that that extractor fan is venting and discharging to outside air. So straight away we can't actually see any ducting. Sometimes it's buried underneath the insulation and it does go out perhaps to a vented roof tile. Just looking across to a different part of the roof space, I can see a bit of ducting there. That's a flue for I think it's a redundant boiler. But above the kitchen area I cannot see any ducting that's going to any sort of vent. But same as the previous one, I can hear this noise, and there's the ducting, and it is discharging directly into the loft space. So again, it's not going to be working efficiently down in the kitchen, and it is going to be ducting and venting some of that warm, moist air into the loft. In the longer term, this can cause issues with condensation in the loft space, and eventually it could lead to other issues like woodworm. In this final example, this is one that is ducted to outside air, but it's probably got the record, from what I've seen anyway, of the longest run of ducting, uninsulated ducting across the roof space, joins from the kitchen fan into the bathroom fan, and then along this, looks more just like a pipe that's not been designed for this, going out through a wall vent. And in this case, the ideal alternative would be to either go directly up to the shortest route through a vented roof tile if it's not possible to be going out through the walls.